So just specifically talking about CitiTurf, which is lawn care, landscape, I mean, it's like
lawn care, pest control, irrigation, fertilization, weed control.
Right.
Yep.
And you have like 8,000 accounts and dominant in your area.
Yep.
What's the number one thing that changed CitiTurf? The number one thing that you did?
Taking credit cards. We were getting paid by check. We were working for a month, generating an invoice, getting paid by our clients anywhere from within probably 7 to 30 days, sometimes longer, because not everybody even pays within 30 days. So we were floating a lot of money. We were trying to think about how in the world do we grow a big business and not have tons of debts, and how do we afford to hire people. And so the idea was we would start charging all of our clients credit cards. The reason it's the biggest thing, because frankly marketing was massive, but no matter how good I was at marketing or became at marketing, I would have had the constraint of not having the money to go hire people to do the work or buy the truck, and it would have meant slow growth for a very long time, which then I would have probably risked just being burned out with this business and not ever getting it to where it's become.
Right.
So I think the single most important thing was getting paid really fast so that we could take the money that was already our money, we were just loaning it to our clients for free, and bring it into our business and use it to grow the company. It wasn't like we had to go get lots of new money. We didn't even have to grow the business. We just needed to get the money that we were owed in our bank account so we could pay more people to do work, so we could buy that next truck. It's probably the linchpin that got us to where we're at.
And you know, that's definitely a good point. And I mean, I've heard people talk about that. Like, there are a lot of guys in the industry getting into credit cards.
A lot now, tons.
But I mean, it's, you know, you really kind of like helped spell it out a lot for us, you know, and get, you know, like writing down numbers on the whiteboard and really kind of broke
yesterday.
Yeah, you really broke it down and kind of helped us visualize a lot better of what it really looks like, and the whole floating money and all that.
Yep.
I mean, it really is the only solution to all of that. And I think the biggest fear is just that, you know, we're going to lose customers and all that. And obviously there's a strategic way to go about it. You don't just, you can just, you know, just blindly tell all of your customers, this is what we're doing, this is why, and take a chance, and hopefully you'll be all right. You know, might lose a few, and that's no big deal, but probably it's more strategic to, obviously, you know, like when I raise my prices, I do it for all the new people coming in, because they don't know the difference, you know, and you kind of work your way backwards from that, go with your bottom 20%, like we were saying, and, you know, change things with them, and kind of work your way that way. So at least if everyone's like, forget this, and they leave, it's not your entire business. Right.
And it will be a very small piece of business to even people that have people to even do that.
Object, right? Because in today's society and mentality, people are just used to that anyway.
And almost every other industry is now doing this.
Exactly.
I mean, every restaurant's doing this. Everything you buy is on Amazon. Like, it's just like, and everybody's getting points on their cards. And some of these cards are now paying 2% cash back. Everybody wants their 2% cash back. Like, people want to use a credit card.
Right. Exactly.
It's not that big a deal anymore.
And I would imagine the bigger your company, also the easier that gets. Like, you know, going back to lawn care and CitiTurf, I mean, it's just easier to just have the credit cards all on file, and you just have your day. Like, you know, you said every day,
it's a cakewalk.
Certain day every week, you just charge all the cards, you're done. You don't have to worry about waiting for checks, going to the bank, doing this, doing that. Even people that do online bill pay, that might be great for them because they're electronically doing it, but we still have to physically get that check, wait for it, you know, go to the bank, you know, whatever it is, it's too many extra steps versus just charging, click, and you charge credit card. And I know Service Autopilot, you're showing us, it's a lot easier than some other softwares that I'm experienced with, and you can just click on some things and just automatically does it for all of the cards.
Yeah, it says, the system says, hey, here's everybody that's supposed to get charged. It figures it all out.
Yeah.
You click all, click charge cards, charges them all, you go on working, system will notify you later when it's done charging, and then you go click on a button and it says, here's everybody that didn't charge. Like, it gives you a list. You click all, you click email, you blast out a message to say, hey, your credit card didn't go through, whatever your thing is, maybe you have a link, and it's just a cakewalk. It's easy. The idea for that, putting that much time into building that functionality in Service Autopilot, was, it's life-changing. It was that important to CitiTurf, and Service Autopilot's got a lot of users. I mean, there's several $1 billion a year in billing and invoicing that happens inside Service Autopilot on behalf of our members.
Right.
Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of that are on credit cards. So if you feel like, oh, I don't know if this will work, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars from maybe your competitors are being charged through our system every single year. It works. Like, it works. The market is doing it. You might just be behind on this.
Right. And just like a sidebar, so Service Autopilot, you created that basically for CitiTurf because you needed something to handle all of the invoicing and the whole.
That's where the idea came from.
Right.
Yeah, we never built it just for CitiTurf.
Right.
In fact, CitiTurf is frustrated that we don't build a lot more functionality into
For
it
them.
that they want,
Yeah.
but we have to build based on what our members want,
Right.
and because
Right.
it is its own company, it was
Right.
never related to CitiTurf.
Right.
But yes, the pain I was having at CitiTurf and another service company I owned at the time was like, how am I ever going to get this company big when I have to do all this manual work? Like, I'm just paying all these people and wasting $35,000 on her and $40,000 on her to click buttons, complete job, do this, charge that credit card. You create this invoice manual, like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost me a fortune to build this company. What if a technology solution could take a $35,000 person and reduce their job down to 10 hours a week and let them go spend 30 hours a week on marketing
Right.
or something better? What if I didn't need to hire normally when I would have needed to hire a second person in office, I could wait a whole nother year till I need them because the technology is doing it. That's
Right.
where the idea came from.
And
It's
this
like,
was how many years ago?
we were turning 9 this year,
Yeah, so I mean that's super early on, like you said. You were like first in the game.
2010.
Yeah, you were right
We were,
there in
yeah.
the beginning levels of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might not even know that or forget that. So because there's a lot of options now, a lot of different softwares out
Oh, there's
there.
tons. Everybody's
jumping
coming, and
in
there's
on it.
500 million more coming.
Right,
And we
right.
know that, and like we continue. Our plan is, I mean, we were first on QuickBooks Syncs, we were first on Client Portal, we were first on mobile apps, we were first on all these things. We're first on automations. We're first. I can just go down the list.
Right.
We plan to continue to be first. Like, and there's a bunch of guys coming.
Right.
We know it, and like I'm so passionate about this. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer. And,
Yeah.
and most of the software coming, everybody's building for the really, really simplistic, they're building simplistic software that the problem with it, in my opinion, is you gotta do everything manually for the rest of your life. Yeah, now it's all in one system, all in one place, and that's awesome. That is a step forward than using QuickBooks and spreadsheets and all these in paper. You got it now in one place, that's a step forward, but like there's a whole nother level, and the whole nother level is it does a lot of stuff for you, or it makes it so, like the credit card charging. Why would you want to charge every credit card individually when you could click one button and charge them all?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
it's that kind of thing. Like,
Exactly.
when it rains, do you want to go move every job manually, or what if you could click 2 buttons and it moves everything for you automatically,
Exactly.
and then all the dates on your invoices are correct, and like
Yeah.
everything's accurate, like. And so
Game
that's
changer.
our philosophy. And so so I'm just
Yeah.
super. Even 9 years in, I didn't know where we'd end up. It's like I'm so passionate about what's possible because we are just scratching the surface of where we're going.
Right.
And so anyway,
Yeah.
I get excited about it.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
2019, what are some trends that you see in this industry? I know you kind of mentioned some stuff, off camera before, but I just want to kind of get your feedback on camera for those that really appreciate that kind of knowledge and kind of maybe, look forward to certain things.
In terms of what might be coming this year.
Yeah, like what trends in the industry in general do you see?
So by all means, prompt me if I'm not thinking of something that
Right.
maybe we talked about, but things that come to mind would be, my gut feeling is the economy's going to hold up. I mean, no way to know. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I've been thinking we're going to have a downturn for several years. Now that we're in 19, I'm like, we'll probably be all right through 19. Maybe we'll see the downturn in 2020. What do I know?
Right.
It's just the gut
Right.
feeling. But I do think about that because you're thinking about investment in your company and how much do you keep the foot on the gas pedal, all those kind of, how many people do we hire, all those things. So that's my bet.
Okay.
Another would be a general trend in our industry across the board. I think residential, around mowing and many of bush trimming and many of these services, it's not a luxury service anymore. I think it's just continuing to be cemented in our industry that these are services that homeowners are going to pay for even in downturns. So I'm very optimistic.
You had mentioned something about technology. You really think that you think that that's like the future, like you really see like, the different types of technology that's improving and that you see that might not be there yet,
Yeah.
but you see different leaps and bounds.
So I
coming.
see, so a trend moving outside of 19, just
Right,
like the
beyond.
long-term trend of where we're going. My belief is that it's around technology. That's why, from just a personal standpoint where I'm putting my money, I'm betting on technology because I believe it's the trend that will differentiate one company from another. It's back to some of the things we've talked about where could you reduce what the workload that a person normally has, could you have technology do much of that workload and then free them up to go do other things that grow the organization. And I think that trend is in its infancy right now, especially in our industry. And I believe that in time, technology through automation and all these other things that are coming, machine learning, and we could just talk about so many things.
Right.
Like we were talking about the Halo lens and some of
Right,
that cool
right.
stuff that's coming. Like, these are going to transform our industry. We were talking about robotic mowers, and they're a ways out. These are going to transform our industry. A whole lot of companies are going to get left behind because they're like, I'm not spending the money on that thing. Or, oh, why would I spend $500 on that? Why would I spend $100 a month on this? And that what's going to happen is their savvy competitors are going to adopt technology 1, 2, 3, 4 years later till they finally like, okay, something's hurting my business, or I'm not having the same success I'm hearing from others. And they finally adopt, and now they're 4 years behind the curve, 3 years behind the curve, and now they're like behind, and they're playing catch up. And I think the trend is way towards technology, and both in technology innovation in terms of the equipment we're using, maybe moving in the long term towards robotics, but also technology that runs your company.
Right.
So that's not going to change. So how can you invest in that area?
Yeah.
But I'm really optimistic that even in the next downturn for the residential space, more so than say landscape, way more than landscape, I'm very optimistic that you're not going to get killed in that downturn. If you understand how the economy works, and we have ups and downs, and it's not the end of the world, and half the junk you hear on the news is all sensational so that they can get you to click on the article and read it. As long as you don't get caught up in that stuff, the next downturn is just going to be an opportunity for you to keep growing your organization. More employees will get freed up because a lot of companies will get scared.
Right.
They'll release people. You can go hire them. That'll
Right.
ease up your current employee problem.
Right.
And if you keep your foot on the gas and you market and you serve your clients and you provide great customer service, I believe you'll take more market share. So I personally am not even slightly, I don't want to sound cocky. It's not cocky,
Right.
but having I'm old,
Right.
I've been around a little bit now. I've done
Right.
a couple businesses.
Right.
And I've learned, like, it's a real opportunity. So it's not cocky, it's having done this for a little bit and been through the ups and downs and being fearful historically, I now believe like massive opportunities coming during the next downturn for savvy companies.
Well, thank you very much,
And you
Jonathan.
bet.
I really
Enjoyed-
appreciate
enjoyed it. Yeah.
all this time. So,
Of course.
guys, if you want to check out the first part of this interview with Jonathan, go ahead and check out the Lawn Care Millionaire YouTube channel. A lot of you guys probably already been there, but if you haven't, go check that out. Subscribe if you're not already, and thanks for watching this video. And also, like and subscribe this video if you're coming from the Lawn Care Millionaires
There you go.
channel. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
See you there.
See you later, guys.